Welcome to the Critical Banter podcast. We're a bunch of uninformed mates give their half-assed opinions. Join us weekly as we have, some laughs and chat about the events of the week. So with me today, I have Sen to my right.
G'day.
And further to my right, I have Rohit Nyman.
G'day, gents. How are we today?
Not bad.
Not too bad at all.
It's good.
Who wants to open the bank today?
Sam, we'll give you the honours.
Oh, all right. Well, our pet topic, pill testing, is back in the news this week.
Oh,
That old chestnut.
What's happened this week, mates? Feels like every other week there's a bit of pill testing in the news.
Well, I'll read it out to you. Mountain Sounds cancelled. Blames New South Wales government's war on festivals.
I think it's more of Gladys Berejiklian's war on festivals, if
Well,
that's how you say it.
What is the war on festivals?
War on that term itself has just been thrown around.
War on drugs. That's an American
That's
ideal,
That's
one.
pretty much what it is. It's not a war on festival. It's a war on drugs.
I think it's more of a war on having fun.
They
That's pretty much what it is.
they love the term war on.
The-
That's the clickbait title actually. The war on. Insert whatever.
War on tradies, war on immigration, war on drugs.
War on dole
you name
blooders.
it. The
Not to be
government's-
fair,
War on
the-
457s.
If you want to incite some fear into the audience, just war on.
But I think anyone's fearing at this point. Everyone's just annoyed more than anything.
So what do they do, Sam? Give us the.
So, Mountain Sound was a festival that was meant to be held over the last weekend.
Yeah, right.
But due to the pressure from the government and other lobbying groups, they just ended up cancelling it altogether. And they themselves have blamed it on the government for their war on festivals. And so over the last couple of festivals, we have seen a few deaths due to overdosing due to drugs.
Mhm.
I don't see how that's the government's fault. To outright blame the government for people overdosing, I think, is a bit of a stretch.
So is there, I guess, take on it? The government should be doing more to save these people by introducing pill testing.
They should be doing different things what they're doing now because they're just imposing stricter guidelines. So what I read on this is like Mountain Sounds, they projected less people to attend because of this whole stigma around festivals.
Yeah.
But even that, they also the government also imposed like higher police required, so they probably had to like double their. I don't know. I'm not sure on the statistics, but like some sort of double their police presence there, even though there's going to be less people. Then even though Mount Sound statistically has a low drug death incidence rate, yeah. So that's sort of why the people are blaming the government because like the costs just have increased, and then they're unable to. They think it's not affordable for them because they're going to have less people. But then they might have to increase tickets so that even less people, because they have to pay for the unnecessarily police. That's their stance on it.
Oh, so that's the whole issue.
That's why the government is being blamed.
But it's also partly because they haven't introduced pill testing. So pill testing is something that's been introduced in a lot of European countries by governments themselves, New Zealand as well, or the US, which they have pill testing, but it's not through the government, it's through third party.
They were
companies
supposed
itself.
to introduce pill testing in another festival, weren't they? They cancelled that though
There's a whole bunch of festivals I know that got cancelled.
for the pill testing.
Yeah, in recent times. 'Cause,
Yeah.
again, it was unaffordable for them.
Where do you guys sit on the pill testing debate? The war on festivals, if you will.
It's easy to just sit on the fence and not even sit on the fence, sit on the side of the government should introduce pill testing, obviously deaths are bad. But I feel like it's just an easy way to jump on the bandwagon with that kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's obviously pros and cons for every side. For example, I think that pill testing is good because, well, number one, it reduces deaths. I assume.
Not necessarily.
Supposedly. Is that debatable?
Yeah, no, so it's debatable so what happens is they have a tent or whatever and people can choose to go test their pills.
Yeah.
And you're only really, not many people choose to do so anyway.
Do you know, if I have some mates, recreational users, I don't know if they would want to test their pills. I don't think they'd care regardless. It just seems like a bit of a hassle. Think of the line to go to the bathroom. And I think of the line to, get your pill tested.
And then when you step into one of those bathrooms at a festival and you just see plastic bags all over the place. It's filthy.
Those bathrooms are genuinely trash. Bathrooms at festivals are one of the worst things that humanity has ever seen.
Mate, be grateful.
One of them would hang up.
You can stand back and just not touch anything.
Oh, mate, if I had to sit down, I would. Oh, there would be some.
One of the worst things in human history. Can we just explore that little concept there very quickly?
You tell me. Look, it's not even like a bathroom. The ones that I've been to is just a pit. So like you know you drop your feces, you drop your piss into a pit, and for some reason there's always food in the pit.
Fair enough. When there's
Out of all words,
it is a pit.
when the Syrians were getting bombed by the US drones, they had nothing compared to the filthy toilets we had to deal with.
compared to you having to take one step back so you don't see it, hold your nose, and just let it rip, dude.
Alright. We're getting a bit off track here, but I'll tell you what. If someone can convince me otherwise, I'm open to hear it.
No, I'm with you. I am anti-pill testing. And it does sound insensitive, but I think it shouldn't be on the government to nanny you and like decide whether you should take drugs or not. It's your choice. If you take it and you die, you can't really. No, it's a genuine like.
You're a cold-hearted man.
Look,
like,
yeah, fair enough. Go on, Sam.
No,
you just okay.
My stance
What do
on
you
it is
say?
like, look, people are going to take drugs regardless, right?
Mhm.
Even if God knows what laws we put, whatever we put, then druggies are going to take drugs.
Yeah.
So I think of it objectively, like if they're going to take drugs and then they're going to get caught, or they're going to get like they need to go to hospital or whatever, would I rather my taxpayers' money go to treating them after they've overdosed or whatever,
Right.
or would I rather it go to something that may prevent it or even help, reduce, or like it's not going to make it zero, but
Do you pay tax?
I pay tax. We all pay tax here.
Not yet, my friend.
No, so okay. So what I've been told about pill testing is, so what happens is, so you go test it, and then what they do is they test to see if it is like pure drugs. Like if it's MDMA, they test to see if it only has MDMA in it, not
Yeah.
other random chemicals
Like
and
stuff.
shit. So if they find stuff that isn't like actually like the drug that it's supposed to be, then obviously you're saving people by like taking away from them and like not letting them take it.
Yeah.
But then if you do find drugs that are proper MDMA, then you let people take it. But then there's also the risk that they actually take the drugs, but then they take too much, and then they actually still overdose either way. Like
Yeah.
you're not actually.
Whose fault is that then? Like,
Yeah, so like the pill testing is just to see like
so you're not dying from other substances. You can still die from
Exactly,
overdose of
that's-
MDMA, but you don't die from
Exactly.
the rat poison in the drug.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
And
that's
then how do you govern that?
Yeah, and then leading towards that, you can also say if they test the pills wrong, the government's then liable.
So what they do is they get you to sign a waiver before you go in, before you test the drugs. You sign a
We're
waiver
not liable
saying
to your death.
they're not liable to
Oh,
anything.
that's fair.
The
Then.
waiver's always a cop out. Like you go do anything.
Nah,
You sit at paintball. You go to paintball. They say we're not liable for your death. Go to festivals. Not liable for your death. No one's liable for my death.
Give them a 40-page waiver. No one's reading it, and they can't get sued.
That's
How
another- that's
on earth
another
have
thing.
you equated paintball
Look,
to
all I'm
pill
saying.
testing?
Look,
He
my gripe-
equated the toilets to Hitler, so let's not.
My gripe is that waivers. Right, no one is liable for anything. Like people love to throw waivers at you. Not responsible.
Everyone wants to pass on responsibility.
This is just a side note. Look, right, all I'm talking about is the waivers now. I have a gripe
Look,
with
anyway,
the waivers.
I'm going back to the original point. I'm not necessarily for pill testing, but I'm for the government doing something differently than just putting more police, charging more to the festivals. They need, and that's why I guess I'm pro pill testing, because I haven't heard a better alternative. But I think the government, I kind of disagree. It should be their responsibility, because that's the people hired them
Yeah.
to, I guess, govern and get the best out of society.
But this is also bigger than just pill testing. This is pretty much the government has more or less outlawed fun here in New South Wales. So obviously in the last couple of years,
No one's denying that.
they
but
brought in lockout laws,
Oh, everyone loves the lockout laws.
where really after 2 a.m. the only place you can go to is the casino. And obviously all the Liberal politicians are mates with the casino owners, and they all get their little kickbacks.
It's as if they've done this because their mates are going to get more profit.
And so now,
It's as if there was an agenda behind all this.
No,
Now,
don't be silly.
on top of that, they've obviously not brought in pill testing and pretty much, made it harder for festival goers. It's just another chapter in the war on fun, if you will.
See, the
I
government.
hate to use the term war on fun, but that's
It is
pretty
what
much
it is.
Look,
Say how
we're
it is.
conformists, all right? We will use the terminology of the day.
Call a spade a spade.
War on.
War on
Fun.
fun. I think the government's just alienating themselves from the public. That's what's happening. They're not taking a real stance. They're just here and there. Dude, even old Berejiklian herself was like, the festivals are trying to make a quick buck. Hey, there may be some truth out, but so are you.
Yeah, everyone's in the same boat. It's all greed, corporate greed.
Money makes the world move, fellas. What can we say?
But no, I think though with the whole pill testing idea, I think it's an interesting concept because like I guess it does bring into concern the whole idea of, I guess, allowing or like encouraging drugs. I've heard one of the arguments against it is it encourages drug use, and I guess, do you want to be encouraging drug use? I understand that it's a risk that people will take, but like for example, there's lots of things that people do, and they're like, for example, stealing is wrong, but you might not be like, stealing's gonna happen anyway, so let's make it easier to steal. You feel like that's not the perfect analogy,
but you can also twist that analogy. Like there are deaths on the roads, but we don't block the roads. We don't stop people from we don't cancel driving. People die from alcohol poisoning, but we haven't outlawed alcohol.
I hate when people take every argument to the nth degree. It's like in the US.
The slippery slope.
It's like, we have gun control. Why don't we have car control? You can get killed by a car. Why don't we have car control? I'm like, fuck off, man.
Yeah, that's why you can't use that analogy.
It is what it is.
It is what it is, fellas.
That's how people do it though. Like you have the argument and then you twist it to something outrageous, and that's supposed to stand.
But that is going back, that is probably the biggest argument against pill testing. Is that it encourages. Yeah, so as a government, you are more or less encouraging drug use.
You can take that again the other way. Back in my hometown, the Philippines, you can get killed on the streets if you're in possession. But there are still people in possession. There are still people using it. So what kind of punishment do we have to do to be like, yeah, people aren't going to be doing drugs anymore? Death penalty is like the furthest you can go, but people are still doing it. So like,
yeah.
In an ideal world, we wouldn't encourage drug use. We'd ban
What's
it.
worse than death? Let's send them all to Perth. If you get caught
Boy, Perth at least has some sunsets.
You send them to Perth.
If you're on drugs and you see a mad sunset, you're rewarding them at that point. It's a beautiful sight.
Oh, dude. What do you have against Perth, Sam?
I've got absolutely nothing.
Have you personally been to Perth?
We'd like to apologise to our Perth listeners. Sen doesn't mean what he says. Sen thinks Perth is a lovely country.
Look, if you want to prove Sen wrong, feel free to send him out to Perth. He'll happily take a few days off work just to experience the great city of Perth.
No, 100%.
Don't put words in my mouth. I'm not apologising to Perth.
Look, alright, if Sen doesn't accept it, Rohit and I will happily accept that.
I will exactly have a free trip. I'm not going to pay for any of this, obviously. You will set me up into a nice Airbnb. Correct?
See, we'll be nice. We'll get an Airbnb, not even a hotel.
Not even a hotel. Look, alright, we're just simple men trying to bring, tourism to Perth.
Trying to bring pill testing to New South Wales.
Is that what you're for, Sam?
No,
you're against it. You're against the pill testing. Yeah, that's right.
You know what pill testing is doing though?
What's it doing?
It's catering to all those cool kids, They think taking drugs is cool. It starts from high school.
Did anyone else make a pact in primary school that they'll never drink, they'll never do drugs?
Yeah, I made that pact with Healthy Harold. I gave him a high five in the bus.
Healthy Harold. He's that giraffe. He's a bloke sits in a giraffe. No, sits in a van filled with young kids in a giraffe suit. What does he do? Tell us to be safe. No drugs, no smoking, no alcohol.
Healthy Harold is a pedophile's dream. It's just a bloke in a suit locked in a van with a lot of kids.
I don't even think there were teachers in that van.
It was a Healthy Harold puppeteer.
Yeah, prepubescent children sitting in that van, in that dark van.
I just looked up when there were the stars on the roof.
Oh, who knows what Harold was doing in the meantime?
Anyway,
enough about Healthy
Let's
Harold.
bring it back.
Healthy Harold.
Drug use starts from high school. That begs the question: if they take drug use and all these popular kids, was the best times of their life in high school? Because this drug use, it might take you on a downward spiral.
Yeah, that's true.
What are your thoughts on that, boys?
So you're saying maybe we should stop this in high school?
No. We're saying is the popular kids, essentially, is it popular, when we're in high school, the popular things to do drugs, but have those people peaked?
Have they peaked?
Have they peaked in life?
Because I was reading an article that talks about essentially have popular kids in high school. What was it? Do they peak?
They peak. They have a lot of friends, but because they have a lot of friends, they're not nice people. Because everyone comes to them. They won't go out in the real world, take some drugs, have no friends. It is what it is. That was the generalization of the day.
That was made in the news article.
Well, Rohit, you were a popular kid in high school, as I remember.
I don't like
Did you peak?
Look, I would not like to say that I peaked, but I guess
I would like to say that.
My retail job at Athlete's Foot, no other achievements, may say otherwise. But
so you peaked in year 12, you reckon?
I reckon I peaked in year 6.
What was your prime? Talk us through your prime, Rohit.
Oh, the prime Rohit was not a care in the world. You know, just
How's
did
that
well.
different to you right now?
Did well in school. You know.
Oh, that's how it's different to now.
Exactly right. You know, did well in school. You know, had some good friends, some nice friends that didn't influence me to do questionable things, like join podcasts that have no direction and no future.
Except up.
Yeah, except up. That's right. Like our socials, we'll plug those right now. But look, all right. All I'm saying is that everyone has a peak, and mine just happened to be in year 6.
Year 6, weren't you a bit chubby in year 6?
Yeah. But I got girls in year 6.
I thought the popular kid peaked in high school. So you peaked in primary school.
I'm a different breed.
Jesus. So you've been on a downhill spiral for the past 12 years.
Look, I don't like to talk about it, but
Jeez, you want to talk about that, bro?
I'm talking to my shrink. All right, I don't need to talk to you clowns.
Do you think it's bad to peak in high school? I think a lot of people peak in high school.
You reckon?
I reckon so. So year 12, you've gone through 6 years of high school. You're in that little bubble for 6 years.
Yeah.
You've worked your way up. You've made friends in your grade, the grades around you, the teachers as well. For you in year 12, that's pretty much all you've known. It's your environment. You've become internalized in that environment.
Yeah.
And for a lot of people, I feel as though in year 12, that's where they peak. That's the absolute height of their...
The end of their, yeah.
Yeah, like
That's
after that, it's
You're done.
downhill. Like you go to university, you're just one in a couple of thousand. You go into the workforce, you're just another...
You're a big fish in a small pond.
Pretty much. That's more or less what it is, though.
But then again, that's peaking in social capital. What about other aspects of life?
Life is all about social capital. It's
Life
all
is about
it's all
leverage, which you get from social capital. This is my theory of the year, actually.
Of success.
Of success. Find me someone who's had a lot of leverage but is unsuccessful.
It's true. It's all about leverage.
You
and
can
social
be
capital.
poor, but if you have leverage, you can get things.
That's true.
It's like old mate. You hear that thing? He got here from a paperclip. He got a house.
That
Trading.
was fake.
That wasn't fake. But like,
Was it?
no, it wasn't
It was
fake.
contorted.
No, but there was some nonsense like, yeah, I traded my snow globe for a role in a movie, and then I traded the role in the movie for like a car or something like that, and a car for a house. Like,
So
Because he had leverage.
No, but yeah.
He knew people that needed these items.
but I don't understand. How can you
can't
trade a
trade-
snow globe for a role in
You
a
can't
movie?
trade a good for a surface.
Like, no, you can. But I'm saying like it's disproportionate. Like I would trade a snow globe for like
another snow
another,
globe.
possibly a slightly
bigger
better snow
snow
globe. Yeah, not this nonsense. A role in the movie. So like I was listening to that guy's TED talk, and he's like, yeah,
I
like.
reckon everyone can give a TED talk these days.
Dude,
What's he
Sign
done?
us
Yeah,
up, Ted.
I'm happy to give a TED talk about my experiences peaking in year 6. I'm qualified and able.
Look, we'll come back to that soon. This is very intriguing to me.
Look, all it is this bloke had a TED talk, and he spoke about how he made his dreams reality by starting with a small idea about selling a red paperclip and trading it for something else, and he worked his way up. But then, that's all well and good until you see that he traded some nonsense for some unbelievable thing that no one else could do. You know what I mean? It's all unrealistic. It's
all about leverage.
No.
He found leverage and he used it.
How does he have leverage with a snow globe?
Maybe it was a limited edition.
I
Maybe
think
that
it actually
person.
was
Maybe
limited
that person did not want
Actually,
a movie role.
You know what? You're right, because I think the limited edition snow globe was like some famous guy he knew, social capital, leverage. Essentially, he wanted that particular snow globe, and because he was like a famous dude,
He found the person that needed it
How did he get the snow globe?
and
He traded-
levered. Levered.
He got the snow globe from like trading it from something else. Obviously, maybe the person who traded him the snow globe had no idea. If it's
Another
leverage.
man's trash is another man's treasure.
No, we're just full of insightful quotes. It is what it
Is it
is.
the snow globe from Citizen Kane?
I don't know.
Wasn't there a Kane from Citizen Kane?
No, there was a sled. I don't know. All my Citizen
Look, I
Kane
don't know
references come
Citizen-
from The Simpsons.
I don't know Citizen Kane.
Basically, the moral of the story is if you peak in high school, you can turn a paperclip into a house or some nonsense. Is that right?
That's it.
As long as you have
As long as you
leverage.
have leverage and social capital.
Social capital. I think, okay, social capital.
What's your theory?
When
on this,
did
Sam?
your social capital peak?
Look? Life is all about social capital, and you can see that in things like LinkedIn, right?
True.
That
that is
is
the absolute
legitimately-
epitome of
Yeah,
social
people
capital.
froth LinkedIn, especially when you're in university. Like they get around LinkedIn.
Everyone gets
All
around
about leveraging your social capital. And how do you get social capital?
with a good rig.
With,
Well, that's a part of
wait,
it.
that's one way.
hold on. Speaking of LinkedIn,
Yeah.
if you check the description of this podcast, there'll be a few LinkedIn profiles there. Just give them a follow.
Oh, 100%. We're all about that. Don't even leave your account in private. Just give us a follow so we know who our followers are.
We'll
That's
give
all we
follow
want.
for
Follow
follow.
for follow.
We
Connect
live in
for
a-
connect. You know what?
Exactly.
That's all.
Connect
that's
for
all-
connect.
That should be the slogan of LinkedIn. To be fair.
Connect for
Back to the
connect.
social capital.
Go on. So so number one, rig. That's a huge. That's huge.
We're gonna
for social
okay.
capital.
All right. Okay. We'll do this. We're gonna talk you through about what you need for social capital
Yeah, let's
from
do
three blokes who have absolutely no social
Yeah,
capital.
absolutely none.
That's why they're spending their Tuesday night recording a podcast. Anyway,
Besides the point.
so number one, we're going to say rig.
Yeah. Need a good body.
You need a good body.
You need
I
a
think
good
that's
body.
essential.
Like good pipes, biceps, chest.
I
Thoughts
think-
on legs?
Legs. It's not essential for social capital.
Yeah.
But it's a nice compliment.
benefit. Yeah, right, so fine. You need the upper body developed.
You need a good rig. Secondly,
Mm.
I would say confidence.
Yeah, confidence is huge.
The thing about confidence, how can you exude confidence through stuff like LinkedIn and Facebook?
You get that professional photo. You get your summary. You get your experience. You get your education. You connect with random people, and you type away like a professional.
I reckon
That's confidence over the internet for you.
I reckon it's about sliding into DMs. How confidently do you slide into DMs on Instagram? I reckon confidence exudes from the ability to have a nice feed. Number one. Number two, it's about I reckon likes on Instagram is a big thing. Thoughts?
But likes come from social capital.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's fair.
Yeah, the likes are the product.
Exactly.
But how do you get to there? That's what we're saying.
Oh, okay, I see. Well, it doesn't mean confidence in online though, right? It can be confidence in real life. I
Just
feel
in
like
real
That's
life,
how
that's-
to exude
yeah,
confidence.
That's the area. Is this turning into a self-help
I think this
group
is.
for beta males and females?
Welcome to the Beta Male podcast.
Don't be
Yeah,
silly. It's going to be mostly males listening to this.
That's true. We're not-
Wait,
What else do we need?
No, I just want to go back to the sliding into DMs.
Yeah,
With that
come on.
logic, I reckon all the creepy Indian men on Facebook
Ah, sure.
would have the absolute
That's-
peak of
They do
social
have
capital.
No, but they have confidence. Would you
They
not
have
say
confidence.
No,
that?
but that's why we need the criteria, because there's more than just
So,
confidence.
yeah.
Okay.
Alright,
So we've got rig
rig,
first,
yeah, rig.
confidence. Third, I would say money. So you have actual capital for social capital.
So the lesser of the capital.
Oh dear.
Capital for capital. Just hear me out. Okay, no, actually, no. Can
Yeah.
we change it? I reckon money should be number one. Because
No,
think about it.
what I think is the three things you listed. You don't need all three,
Yeah.
but you need a mix.
Yeah,
So it's
proportion.
We need to come out with our criteria, and then we have to decide how many of each do you need.
Alright.
Because we could come up with a long list, but you only need maybe 5 out of 6,
Yeah,
5 out of
that's true.
7.
Well, surely money trumps all. So if you have money, you can pay for a good gym, a personal
Oh, I see
trainer.
what you're
Yeah,
saying.
but
Get on the gear. Like, there you got your rig right there.
You can pay the good gear with no need for pill testing.
Exactly. This is all.
But if you somehow have a good rig, I don't
Yeah.
know, your theory rate of going to prison for 5 years, so all you do is work out.
Just focus on
You
gym.
won't have money if you go to the prison, but you're going to have a rig.
I
You
reckon,
have confidence. I reckon you can
I
still
reckon
get
those
social
two,
capital.
yeah. I would say that rig and confidence is surely a huge thing for social. Firstly, if you have a good rig, like good body, people just notice you straight away, right? You already have some sort of social capital, some sort of leverage, as you would like to say, Miguel. Because, like, if you walk into a room and, like, some bloke's kind of built, and he knows he's built, you know, you're already halfway there.
All right, welcome back to the Toxic Masculinity podcast.
If you'd like to check the description, we'll also link the Gillette ad if you'd like to give that a view.
No, but honestly speaking, so you think your social capital is just constantly growing? Is it something that's always growing as you go on in age, or is it something
I don't
that
think
ebbs
it's always.
and flows?
I don't think it's
Yeah.
always growing.
Yeah,
it
it's
has
always-
peaks and troughs.
So okay,
It's
right now with
fluctuating.
Euro, where's your social capital at? You just went on 6 months on exchange.
I think he's
Oh.
recovered from a recession, to be honest.
Yeah, no,
Are you on the back up? Are you on the way back up? An
So-
upswing?
No, before exchange he was on a recession, but he's hit a boom.
Alright, so to all the listeners, I went on
Oh,
exchange.
Jesus
I posted
Christ.
heavily how I went on exchange, and now I've come back from exchange, and I've lost all my social capital again in exchange.
That's why he's back
No.
here with his
No,
first
hang
mates.
on. On exchange, surely you didn't gain followers on Instagram, and
Oh, I did, 100%.
so doesn't that increase your social capital?
Yeah, but I'm not seeing these people.
But how is he
These
going
people
to
live
use
in
that?
Europe. I come back to the hellhole that I'm in Sydney, and I'm back to square one again, with no money this time.
At least
I
you
spent all
don't
of
live.
it.
At least you don't live in Perth.
Yeah, true, true. Is it?
Up the west.
Oh dear.
Anyways, the whole point of social capital is being able to use it. If
Yeah.
you can't use it, it's
There's
worthless.
no point. Yeah, so you can have social capital, but if you don't actually use
No, you
it,
can have followers,
What's the
but that
point?
doesn't equate to social
Is
capital.
there a social capital market?
We
Can I buy and sell social capital?
We should. You know what we should do? No.
Why not?
I'm just getting dirty looks here from everyone.
Why not?
So how are we selling? Okay, tell me how we're buying and selling social capital.
Look, people buy and sell followers,
True.
but that's useless.
True.
They're inactive. We buy and sell active followers.
How do we make sure they're active?
I'm sure people are willing. Wait, how did that work actually? So the people that want social capital pay for followers and stuff,
Yeah.
and I'm sure we can pay people to like and do all this, dude. And then we just take a cut.
It's just
It's
simple.
just
Supply and demand. That's
Supply
all
and
it is.
demand. We're just the marketplace. We aren't providing any content. Don't be silly. That takes effort.
No,
What we're doing, we're mediating the people who want to get paid for doing shit all at home on their phone,
Look.
and the people who actually want social capital.
Well, you can see we're just discussing. This is just how we're trying to get social capital. So,
Look, if we
This
see an
is-
app that is buying and selling social capital, expect a lawsuit.
100%.
We have this documented.
Mm.
Patent pending.
This
In
is
my
really
opinion.
what this podcast is about. This is us just trying to gain some social capital.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
And week in, week out, we try and find ways to, gain more social capital.
Three blokes with fuck all social capital or social life have decided to make a podcast to change that.
And, that's what we
And yeah, that's over the next couple of weeks and years. This is what we're going to do. And join us on this journey.
yeah, that
Right,
sounds
right.
good.
Speaking of that, make sure to check the description. We've got our Instagram, got our Twitter, that may not be run by Sen over here. We're still deciding on that one. We've got our Facebook page there as well. Don't be afraid to also follow our podcast as well, so you can get notifications when we do upload that one.
Chuck us a cheeky like, and, you can also, by liking our photos and
You're
liking our
providing
profile,
us with social capital.
you too can have some social capital. Give something back to the followers. You too can have our level of social capital.
Maybe for a limited time only, we'll be a like for like, follow for follow sort of. It's in the works. We'll see about that
We'll
one.
see how we go. Well, anyway, yeah, follow us on what? The Critical Banter? At Critical Banter?
At Critical Banter on all social media. We've got the handle.
That's it.
We've gotten in before everyone else. It's beautiful.
That's it.
It's not the Critical Banter Podcast 125
Yeah,
underscore.
XX.
Don't you worry about that. At Critical Banter. Share it with your friends as well. Maybe they're interested in gaining some social capital.
Nice and clean.
Um,
What about the merch then?
The merch, this is huge. In the link in the description below, we'll have a link to our merch. This month's special will be rug covers. Critical Banter rugs, Critical Banter cushion covers, Critical Banter clocks.
No, for this month it's alarm clocks only though. We've taken down the wall clocks
True,
and the
true.
digital clocks as well. We've kind of adjusted to the market demand.
So come in. Look at our store. Grab your clocks.
Limited edition
Rugs.
alarm clocks. Wake up every morning with Rohit telling you how shit your social capital is.
Or you could take version B where he tells you about his exchange adventures. Every day you get a different one. But it's always just a reminder of how he went to exchange.
On that note, I think it's time to end it, fellas. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
See you, fellas.